Okay, guys, can I start? Are you here? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Share my screen again. Okay. We studied two things. We studied first the types of network, local, personal, uh, wide area, and the metropolitan area networks. These are four types of network. It's very important to understand the difference between each of them. The second, uh, again, is so useful than the first one, is the topology. The topology is the logical implementation of the network. Again, you can have a physical implementation, but the network, how the network is designed logically is a little different. And you have the star, buzz, ring, and mesh type. Now we start to know about the media. Okay, again, you need to have a channel. Okay, the physical channel, and the physical channel is the medium. Okay, you have different type of network medias, but the medians is you use medias to connect nodes. For example, when you things in the cable, you connect one computer to others in only one cable. You have a cable is your media. When you have in your house a wireless channel, the wireless channels, Wi-Fi channel is your media. The media define the speed, the security, and the size. Okay, the speed. Okay, for example, if you have optical cables, you have a very high speed network. Okay, because you don't have a lot of interference when you see it. The optical cable, the light does not suffer, for example, a big problem in the cable, a metallic cable, that is the electronic magnetic interference. For example, when you have elevators close, a noise, light does not solve this problem. Okay, speed. Wireless is the speed is much lower than the cable, because the cable you have a lot less interference than to wireless. The second one is the security. I believe it's easy to understand that the wireless channel is less secure than the cable. Okay, because in the wireless channel, one guy can listen and you cannot see. Okay? It's the big problem in the wireless. And the cable, it's a little different. The cable, the guy need to intercept your cable and create a fork in your cable to listen what you talk. And the size. The type of the type channel define the speed, but define too the number of collision or the topology type that is possible to implement with the type of that specific type of cable. Okay, and the topology define the size of the network. I will explain better later. The first part, the first type of cable is the twist pair cabling. Okay, as the name is a metallic cable where you twist the cable, and because this twister, you have. I try to it's better to show here. Because this twister here, what you do with this twister is because you create electronic magnetic field here that annulates this one. Okay, that annulates this one, that annulates this one. Okay, if this cable is straight, the electromagnetic field created here, you interfere in here and interferes. When you twist this cable, you avoid this situation. Okay. The twist cable is the most common cable in the local area network. Okay. You call it Cat5 or 100 base T. It's important. The T here is the twister. Okay. 100 is the speed, 100 megabits by second per second, and the base is the type of network is the network, as you understand. The different if you don't have, if the network is not based, it's not useful to transfer data, okay? Again, you use 4 pairs of copper cable. You can have, it's not used common to have a shield to protect this cable to interference, but this cable suffer a lot of interference, okay? For example, if you have an elevator and you need to send the cable through the shaft of the elevator, you cannot use, for example, this type of cable, because if you use the twist cable, every time that the elevator pass close to the cable, the network will turn off, okay? Again, the speed range is 1 to a gigabit, okay? Any questions? The another type of metallic cable is the coaxial cable. Okay, the coaxial cable, I believe you have in Mexico, is like the cable TV cable. Okay, again, it's near obsolete because a lot of places replace this cable for the fiber. Okay, but again, in Brazil, for example, it's very common to have the cable TV use this type of cable to connect to provide your their service. Okay, this cable again, it's a metallic cable. Okay, like here. Okay, and you have this isolator and you have this metallic shield. The both of these two protections uh, protect the cable to avoid to break, but much more than it protects about against interference. Okay, this shield of the cable avoid, for example, that you suffer interference from the other, for example, electric machines. Okay, this type of cable you can pass in the shaft of elevator. Okay, it suffers interference, but it's not so strong than the twisted one. The problem is this cable does not provide a very good speed for the network. Okay. The most amazing cable is the fiber optic cable. Okay. Again, you have one light and a very thin cabling. Okay. It's, for example, it's a electronic is a fiber cable with a lot of small cable. Okay, if you see, for example, the physical cabling is like that, very thin. Again, the light does not suffer electronic magnetic interference. Okay, you can put the fiber optic in any noise environment. It works. Okay, it's very secure, very secure. And the speed is, you can acquire, for example, 100 gigabits per second. Okay, it's a very high speed network. The problem is hard to work because it's very easy to broken this cable. Okay, it's the reason that you don't find it in the workspace. For example, in my house, the internet is from the internet backbone use fiber, and the fiber enter in my house. Okay, and the fiber is connected in my router. The router is a very protected place to avoid that my kids and the other, my wife broken the cable. Okay, because it's easy to broke. Okay. The last one is the wireless. The wireless, let's say, is the data transmitted through the air. Now you have the radio waves to ones and the use microwave. In the local areas, only use radio wave. For example, Wi-Fi is a radio wave. Okay. In the ones, you use microwaves. For example, when you have two position, two place, things that you have two place, and you point this to place the radio here to the radio here, and create a point-to-point connection. Okay. In this case, you use microwave like RF and others. Okay. But in the ones now, you use a different type. For example, satellite. Satellites use microwaves. Okay. Satellites use microwaves. You have a beacon in the satellite, and you have a repeater here locally. Okay. You send the data to the beacon in the satellite, and the satellite retransmit to another position. Okay. It's not so easy to set up, but it's more or less, and it's very hard to secure. Okay, it's very, very hard to secure because you can have one guy that listens the channel and capture information and you don't know nothing about it. Any questions, guys? No?
No.
Finally, you have the network device. A network device is any device that connects nodes in the network. Okay. The more simple example is the network adapter. Okay. This one is an example of a wireless network adapter, and the other is to cabling network adapter. Okay. This device has a unique machine access code. Remember the address. You need to have an address to be possible to locate it. Okay. And and this address, physical address, is the MAC. Maybe you never see this card. It's very common in the past, but it's not so common because most of the computers already have in the motherboard this adapter inside. Okay, you don't need to buy a new adapter. You use the mainboard components. But for example, if you use gateways or servers, okay, you most of the time you buy a separate to avoid that the network need to share interruptions with the other components in the hardware. So now I start to know about the collision domain. It's important because the collision domain don't make sense in the physical behavior. Again, think about the dark room, okay? If two people start to talk in the same time, you have a collision. It's what happened here, okay? You have the PC1 and PC2 try to talk in the same time, and you have a collision here. When you have a collision, you lost the information. You completely lost the information that you send, okay? This thing here is what you say is a collision, okay? The way to solve the collision is, again, as I said, you listen to the channel, EC is available, transmit. If you have a collision happens, launch a timer and wait. When you finish the wait, the timer, you send the message, okay? And when you try to talk about collision, you start to need to understand the difference between the hardware, okay? You have a hub, switch, and bridge. When you see the hub and the bridge, which type of topology it implements? Does it implement? Guys? Please, which type of topology does implement the hub, for example? What do you think? I give me options. It's a star, it's a ring, or it's a bus.
Star.
Star, okay. And in the switch, in switch, is a star too, or is different?
It's also star, right?
Star, okay. After I explain the bridge. Okay, the good answer is, the correct answer is, the hub does not implement star, the switch implements star, and you explain why, okay? I just delete it to explain. Okay. To understand it, I will share my whiteboard. Okay, did you see my whiteboard, guys?
Yes.
Okay. Things that you hear, you have a hub, okay? And here you have a node, okay? Internally, the hub is not, okay, here you have a connection, okay? Okay? The amazing thing is, internally, the hub is a bus, okay? It's only a bus. What it means? It means that these, give me a second. Okay, it means that the hub it's only solve a problem because the original bus network is a very problematic network because you use a very strange device. It's a very hard to implement a bus network without a hub. Okay, but the hub has this situation here. Okay, internally, when you see the hub, if you open the hub and see logically how it works, it's like it. Okay, all the nodes is in the same, share the same media. The problem here is, if this guy, two guys send the same data, you have a collision. Okay, is the way that the hub works. It's a bus. A switch is a little different. Okay. A switch has internally one component that the name is the backplane. The backplane is a backplane. A backplane is a type of shared memory. Okay. However, is a very high speed shared memory. If you see logically what the hub does is, thinks that you have a package that you send to here to go to this place here. What the backplane does is, it connects the two wings to the two nodes, the sender and the receipt, in the very short time. Okay. What happens when you stop to transfer? This connection is deleted. Okay. I will change the paint to be more clear. Okay. Things that A wants to talk with B. What the switch does, the backplane does is, okay, A wants B, okay, create a connection here. Okay, and keep this connection for how many times? Only during the transmission. You finish the transmission, you delete this connection, and don't have this connection. Oh, now this one wants to talk with this one. Okay, no problem. You create a connection. Okay. Following this approach, the switch is a star because it's a star. It works like a, okay, come on to me and I will forward the message one place to other, okay? You don't have a buzz. Did you understand? Yes, guys.
Yes.
Okay. The important thing here is okay, I just clear. It's a bus and it's a switch. Why you say that the hub has one collision domain? Because everybody is in the bus, okay, in the same collision. If you have a collision, everybody listen the collision. And the switch, because the behavior switch, you have multiple domains in collision domains because the collision domains in switch only have two nodes, okay? For example, A sent to B, you make the connection between A to B, you have one collision domain. If you have a C and D in another pro, in the same time, you make a connection, a link between C and D, and CD start to talk, you have a collision there. For example, if the switch has, for example, 20 ports, you have 20 collision domains. Did you understand?
Yes.
And the bridge is a little different. The bridge is a component. The bridge is like two ports in the switch. Okay, you have the port A and the port B. What happens if you use a hub here? This part here is a collision domain. The other part is the other collision domain. The bridge only transfer message is only used when you have a message that needs to transport to one network to another. Okay, in this case, you have only two different collision domains. Another concept is the computer address. The computer address is, again, you need an address to be possible to send data to be located in the network, okay? You have two types of address. The first one is the MAC address. It's the physical address. It's the address that you have locally, okay? You need the physical address to find the computers inside the network, but locally. The idea of the MAC address is an address that you build. When you build the device, you ship the address. It's not a reality today because you can change the MAC address using software. But in the beginning, you cannot change. It's a permanent address, okay? And the address identify the card. For example, if you have one, in your computer, you have only one Wi-Fi and one Ethernet NIC. You have a Wi-Fi card and the internet, Ethernet card or cable card. You have one MAC address to the Ethernet card and the other to Wi-Fi. You cannot have one address to. You don't have an address, a physical address to computer. It's one address for each device. Okay. And the IP. IP is a logical address. Okay. You need the IP to send or to receive data from the internet. Okay. It's not so. Again, you can have one non-fixed in your computer. You have Ethernet address and Wi-Fi. You can have two IP address, or you can have only one IP address. Okay, you can join different cards with one IP because IP is logic. Okay. Finally, the last device that you have in the network is the router. The router, again, switch or hub, you connect. Another thing about the network address, the network address has not only information about one device, but you can have information about network. For example, the beginning of the network address is not about the node, is about the network. It's the reason that you use IP in the internet, you don't use MAC address in the internet, because the MAC address only identify the node, okay? And never change. And the IP, you identify the network and the node in the same time, okay? It's like, for example, again, you have the name of the street and the number of your house. The IP is like you have the name of the street, okay? You identify where you need to go and identify specifically the house, the part of the IP that's identified the node. Any questions, guys? Again, in the network course, you learn a lot about the IP address and the MAC address, a lot, okay? It's not so easy like I explained, okay? It's very more complicated. Finally, you have a router. Again, remember that I told you that you have an address that identify the node and the part of the other identify the network. To enable that one network talk with another, you need a special equipment that is router. That is this router is enabled that you can find network. It's like fix that the situation. Switch or hub identify nodes, okay? But you need an equipment that identify network. It can be possible to route a network to another. Is the router. Again, things that you have, you need to find the address. The router identify where is the street. Oh, the rua A is here. The street B is there, okay? But to identify a house, you need a switch, okay? Oh, okay, you are in the street A. Where is the house of the, for example, Eli? Okay, the switch will, so Eli is there, okay? Finally, you have the network cable. It's very quickly. You have Ethernet, okay? Ethernet is the cable that you have twisted, you have fiber, and you have coaxial, okay? Sorry, fiber you don't have. You have coaxial and twisted, okay? When you have T is twisted, the other is the coaxial. Okay, here is the speed, 10 megabits. And the last part in the coaxial, you have two types, 200 meters and 500 meters range, okay? In the fast Ethernet, is 100 megabits per second, okay? Use Cat5 is the category, but you have Cat6 and Cat7 today. And it identifies like that, 100 base T, okay? T twister, 100 megabits per second. And the gigabit Ethernet, you have a 1 to 10 gigabits per second. And you can use the metallic twist cable or the fiber optic, okay? So I need to share because I didn't share with audio. I have a video about what we talked, okay? This video, I watched this video, I believe in 2000 or 1999, something like that. It's a very old video. But it's talk a lot about a lot of important things in the internet using a very simplistic language, okay? In this video, you'll see more than we talk here, but it's important. You'll see about the file, proxy, things that already, maybe, probably, I believe you already listened about, but you didn't understand well how it works. In this video, we'll explain, okay? Pay attention. It's a very short video, I believe 3-4 minutes, but a lot of doubts that you have about the class today, you'll solve here now.
For the first time in history, people and machinery are working together, realizing a dream. A uniting force that knows no geographical boundaries without regard to race, creed, or color. A new era where communication truly brings people together. This is the dawn of the net. Want to know how it works? Click here to begin your journey into the net. Now, exactly what happened when you clicked on that link? You started a flow of information. This information travels down into your own personal mailroom, where Mr. IP packages it, labels it, and sends it on its way. Each packet is limited in its size. The mailroom must decide how to divide the information and how to package it. Now, the package needs a label containing important information, such as sender's address, receiver's address, and the type of packet it is. Because this particular packet is going out onto the internet, it also gets an address for the proxy server, which has a special function, as we'll see later. The packet is now launched onto your local area network, or LAN. This network is used to connect all the local computers, routers, printers, etc. for information exchange within the physical walls of the building. The LAN is a pretty uncontrolled place, and unfortunately, accidents can happen. The highway of the LAN is packed with all types of information. These are IP packets, Novell packets, Apple Talk packets. They're going against traffic, as usual. The local router reads the address and, if necessary, lifts the packet onto another network. The router, a symbol of control in a seemingly disorganized world.
Whoops, sorry about that. Let's go with this one here, this one here. This one's here, this one goes here. I don't like this one. Let's go with this one. Let's go here. Left, let's go with this one here. Another channel here. Let's put that one here. Another one there. Let's put that one here.
There he is, systematic, uncaring, methodical, conservative, and sometimes not quite up to speed.
Sorry.
But at least he is exact, for the most part.
That one was there, that one was there, that one was there, and this one was there. Well, another one that was there, that was there. He's fine. That one was still there, that was there, he was there. Oh, let's put that one there.
As the packets leave the router, they make their way into the corporate intranet and head for the router switch. A bit more efficient than the router switch plays fast and loose with IP packets, deftly routing them along their way. A digital pinball wizard, if you will.
Here we go. Here comes another one. And it's another. Watch this, Mom. Here goes. Whoop, we're on the back. Hey, in there, in there, in there. Over the left, over the right, over the left, over the right. You got it. Here it comes. Right on. He shoots. He scores. It's going. Hey, Wayne, here, watch out. Here comes another one. Oh, here we go. And it's gone. It's gone.
As packets arrive at their destination, they're picked up by the network interface, ready to be sent to the next level. In this case, the proxy. The proxy is used by many companies as sort of a middleman in order to lessen the load on their internet connection, and for security reasons as well. As you can see, the packets are all of various sizes, depending upon their content. The proxy opens the packet and looks for the web address, or URL. Depending upon whether the address is acceptable, the packet is sent on to the internet. There are, however, some addresses which do not meet with the approval of the proxy, that is to say, corporate or management guidelines. these are summarily dealt with. We'll have none of that. For those who make it, it's on the road again. Next up, the firewall. The corporate firewall serves two purposes. It prevents some rather nasty things from the internet from coming into the intranet, and it can also prevent sensitive corporate information from being sent out onto the internet. Once through the firewall, a router picks up the packet and places it onto a much narrower road, or bandwidth, as we say. Obviously, the road is not broad enough to take them all. Now you might wonder what happens to all those packets which don't make it along the way. Well, when Mr. IP doesn't receive an acknowledgement that a packet has been received in due time, he simply sends a replacement packet. We are now ready to enter the world of the Internet. A spider web of interconnected networks which span our entire globe. Here, routers and switches establish links between networks. Now, the net is an entirely different environment than you'll find within the protected walls of your LAN. Out here, it's the Wild West. Plenty of space, plenty of opportunities, plenty of things to explore and places to go. Thanks to very little control and regulation, new ideas find fertile soil to push the envelope of their possibilities. But because of this freedom, certain dangers also lurk. You'll never know when you'll meet the dreaded ping of death. A special version of a normal request ping, which some idiot thought up to mess up unsuspecting hosts. The paths our packets take may be via satellite, telephone lines, wireless, or even transoceanic cable. They don't always take the fastest or shortest routes possible, but they will get there. Eventually. Maybe that's why it's sometimes called the worldwide wait. But when everything is working smoothly, you can circumvent the globe 5 times over at the drop of a hat. Literally. And all for the cost of a local call or less. Near the end of our destination, we'll find another firewall. Depending upon your perspective as a data packet, the firewall could be a bastion of security or a dreaded adversary. It all depends on which side you're on and what your intentions are. The firewall is designed to let in only those packets that meet its criteria. This firewall is operating on ports 80 and 25. All attempts to enter through other ports are closed for business. Port 25 is used for mail packets, while Port 80 is the entrance for packets from the Internet to the web server. Inside the firewall, packets are screened more thoroughly. Some packets make it easily through customs, while others look just a bit dubious. Now, the firewall officer is not easily fooled, such as when this ping of death packet tries to disguise itself as a normal ping packet.
It's okay, Gorm. It's okay. No problem. Have a nice day. We out of here. Bye.
For those packets lucky enough to make it this far, the journey is almost over. It's just a lineup on the interface to be taken up into the web server. Nowadays, a web server can run on many things, from a mainframe to a webcam to the computer on your desk, or why not your refrigerator? With a proper setup, you can find out if you have the makings for chicken cacciatore or if you have to go shopping. Remember, this is the dawn of the net. Almost anything's possible. One by one, the packets are received, opened, and unpacked. The information they contain, that is, your request for information, is sent on to the web server application. The packet itself is recycled, ready to be used again, and filled with your requested information. Addressed and sent out on its way back to you. Back past the firewall, routers, and on through to the internet. Back through your corporate firewall. And onto your interface. Ready to supply your web browser with the information you requested. That is, this film. Pleased with their efforts and trusting in a better world, our trusty data packets ride off blissfully into the sunset of another day, knowing fully they have served their masters well. Now, isn't that a happy ending?
Okay. Okay. Okay, guys. Any questions? Did you like the movie?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Again, I will give the last break. Okay, it's not so big break, only 5 minutes, only to go drink a water and back, and we start one exercise. I will explain about one exercise, and it's a very important exercise that you need to do and need to start now. Is okay. I provide more information later. Now is moon 7. We return no, moon 8. We return on moon 30. Okay, see you soon, guys.